Bad. So anyhow, I'm swimming one day. Let me get rid of this gum. It's hard to tell a story gumming. So I'm swimming, and I'm going underwater. River's about 6 feet, and I'm going, and all of a sudden I feel ice and cold slush, and I thought, no way, it's 90 degrees outside. Can't be. So I come up, and I look around, it's completely white. I mean, snow, about yay deep.
What was white?
All the land. The land was all white. It was snow. And there's slosh and ice all in the creek I was in. And the creek had now become a pond. It was kind of like a pond there. And so I instantly, I knew what had happened, because this wasn't the first time I'd been in a dimensional plane, as y'all know. I've been in several dimensions, but this one was the first time that I felt like my life was in jeopardy instantly. So I instantly go back under. I mean, such cold on me. I go back under and try to get back into my dimension. Well, I'm struggling. I can't see it, can't find it. I'm disoriented. So I make the call. I gotta get out. Because, I'm starting to get hypothermia instantly. And so I get out and I start trudging through the snow, because I see, we'll call it a cabin. It was a shelter. I see a shelter about probably 100 yards away. And I know that don't seem like a lot, but when you're in 2 feet of snow, 100 yards, and you're barefooted, I all had on swimming trunks. Had nothing but spare swimming trunks. Barefooted swimming trunks, 100 yards, you try it the next time it snows. See how it goes. And so anyhow, and plus not only that, I was already cold from being in the water. So anyhow, I start walking, and I'm starting to get very disoriented. My feet are numb, I can't feel them. Terribly disoriented. I get about from here to the wall to the door, and I start blacking out. Right before I black out, I see the silhouette of a humanoid, a female humanoid.
How'd you know she was a female one?
Well, you could just tell.
It's dope luck.
Good, Katie.
They went, hallelujah.
You could just tell she was female.
Cheese, what else?
She was female. So anyhow, I pass out. I black out. So, when I pass out, I know I'm a goner. I know I'm a goner.
I have to go study for a Bob, so Jose, will you please send that video to me?
As time goes on, I wake up and I've got a animal skin over me, and the animals there were very unique. But anyhow, I've got an animal skin over me, and I'm warm. And there was a girl there. She went by Kalani, and sometimes I called her Keldora. But she went by that, and she was trying to feed me some kind of soup, warm soup, and I was cold and hungry, so I accepted it graciously. She was a beautiful, beautiful creature. She was part.
Creature?
Yeah, she was part of the Keldamite race.
She was a creature. Why'd you have a kid with her?
Well, we're all creatures, right? You're a creature.
Yeah.
So she was part of the Keldamite race, and I learned that I was in the 54th dimension, and there's a way that you can tell what dimension you're in. It's a very long formula. You tell by the rotation of the particular planet you're on, how long a rotation is, how many suns they have, the alignment of the stars. It's an incredibly intense and long formula. I'm not going to go into that. But I was in the 54th. What's so funny? I was in the 54th dimension. And so anyhow, as you all know from my previous stories, the dimensional planes open and close really quick in some cases. And so we were able to communicate. Howdy, how you doing? We were able to communicate, and I'd asked her, I said, how long have I been here? How long have I been here? And she kept holding up 5. So I thought, man, I've been out 5 days, and it's no wonder I'm so hungry. And come to find out, it wasn't 5 days, I've been out 5 weeks.
I thought you were going to say years.
5 weeks. 5 weeks. And she had tried to spoon feed me and so on at that particular time. She wound up, there was a creature there. Do y'all remember the name of the creature from yesterday?
Keldamite.
The Keldamite was a vicious snow-like creature. And what I'd found out, the Keldamite had killed her father and mother and practically her whole entire family. And that's why she was living alone. The killer might come out every so often, every few days to feed, and then it would go in and we'll call it, for lack of a better word, hibernate. And what is it, Kelsey? What is it? So we'll call it hibernating, but he would come out and feed, or I'll say it would come out and feed. And everybody was terrified of that. And there were sparsely villages throughout the area, and everyone feared the Kellamite. They just wanted to know who was next when it come out. And then so I asked her, has anybody ever tried to kill it? We can't. Too big. And so I stopped. Well, so anyhow, what happened? Here's the part that really gets to me. This part gets to me. I knew that I was stuck in this dimension. I knew that I was stuck because I'd done been in there 5 weeks. And Kalani, I fell in love with her. She nursed me back to health. She was good to me. She was alone. She needed me. And there weren't like a priest or preacher there like we do, but we had a little ceremony to where we, committed ourselves like a marriage kind of thing. And, time spent and what we done there, it was snow all the time there. And all you done was hunt for animals. She taught me how they hunted there. And there were animals similar to ours. There were rabbits and things like that. And we had traps. And every week or so, you could hear a terrible scream from across the plains to where
What was it like?
it was like it was something like that. And you could hear people where the Kellamite was feeding. And we always wondered, all right. And so
Wait, can you do that again?
not right this minute, but so I wasn't going to stand for that because they were just basically just waiting to be eaten, and I wasn't going to stand for that. So I had to come up with a plan. But anyhow, I did. I loved Kalani. I loved her, and
What was y'all's
and
kid's name?
we had a son, and we called him Kelvin.
Kelvin.
And
God, bastard.
Kelvin.
what is it, Kelsa?
Your dad.
Anyhow,
Ice creature.
we did have a son together. I did love her. We spent,
Wait, I have a question.
I'll answer all questions in just a moment. So, pregnancy rate is 7 months there. I know it's 9 here, but it's 7 there on that particular planet. 7 months. That's how it is.
I thought it was
With that
too.
particular race. So,
It'd be cold.
that was the first human Kellamite child. It was Kelso making a story home. So anyhow, I wasn't just gonna stand around because I had accepted my fate. I was in that dimension, and at this point, I didn't want to go back. I wanted to stay there. And so anyhow, the creature, the Kellamite, kept getting closer to the villages, closer, and I said, he's coming this way, we've got to do something. And I said, I'm going to fix a trap for him. I'm going to fix a trap. So what I would do is, I had my animal skins, I went out and I dug daily. Kept digging a pit. It was right near the pond. Where I had come out of. I kept digging a pit. And my hope was and the pit was right beside the pond. Okay? Right here's the pond, and right here was the pit I was digging. Right here was the pit, and here's the land. So what my hope was, there was just a little bit of land. I had it set to where I was gonna dig up, and this pond I was gonna get the Kellamite creature in here, and then let it fill up with water, and I was gonna drown him. That was my hope. What is it? So, what plan would you have come up with? You got better? Okay.
You've killed creatures and.
Anyhow, again, I was in my swimming trunks. I had no weapons. I had nothing. There weren't a lot of trees there. There was no vegetation. It was just a nice planet, snow planet. So, and this water right here was slushy most of the time. So I had a lot of factors to deal with. So every day, like I would, I'd come in and my hands would be just about blue and ice cold and frozen because I would get a little every day, but every day I'd see Kelvin and it would inspire me.
How did you see Kelvin? He was,
He was our son.
yeah, but you said she had 7 months and he was born.
Are you ever gonna see your son again?
I'm going to after he's born.
Oh,
Okay?
How old is he
Why
now?
do I have the sun
Well,
in a different planet?
We'll talk about that. Now listen,
I don't know.
so anyhow, he's getting closer and closer to the villages, and she knows. And again, she would cry a lot of nights because she missed her mother and father and her sisters. The Calamite creature destroyed them as well. And you know, I felt bad, you know, because I loved her. She was the love of my life. She really was. But anyhow, well, you know, anyhow. So I got and again, the Calamite creature was about as tall as this particular room here, and very vicious creature. It was, do y'all happen to remember the Mugatu?
yeah.
Yeah.
Similar to the Mugatu, but way bigger, way stronger,
Is it the one
way more vicious. Yeah, no horn though, no horn. And so I dug the pit over time about twice as deep as this area right here. And what I'd done is I kept making me a spot to get up with just little bitty spots where my feet would barely fit in it. And I dug it and I kept digging. And it would snow and the snow would fill up about what I dug. So it took me months and months. Wow. And my hands were just suffered. But again, I'd walk in and see my son and knew I had a greater purpose. What is it, Kelson? I knew I had a greater purpose. So anyhow, the time was there. The time was right. I had it good and deep. I had just a little glaze of ice over it. And so the plan was, when he comes, we wasn't just going to sit there. I was going to get him to run after me. And then I was going to jump over this. And I was going to jump over it.
You can't jump.
But that did play a part here. That did play a terrible part. So as we heard the creature coming that particular day, and I'm gonna shorten a little bit because it does hurt me to talk about this. I looked at Kalani, and just the way I had a feeling that'd be the last time I ever saw her. And so I hugged her and I hugged Kelvin goodbye, and I said, I hope I make it out of this. I'll be back. So sure enough, about that time, the Kelvin might come over the hill just barreling.
What do you sound like, Cordell?
So I take off. I take off the bed. This is where your high knees come in play, because I was high kneeing all the way through the snow. High knee, and he didn't have to worry about high knee. He was
Can you demonstrate how you
high knees? Well, I'm just trying to get through the snow. And so anyhow, I get to here, and there's no way I can jump it. There's no way. It's too big. So I go all the way around it, and he keeps barreling down the hill, coming toward me. So anyhow, at this point in time, I'd had a little area to where I was going to let this drain, and I quickly started moving. And sure enough, the water started draining. And it filled up rapidly. He's coming at me, and I'm enticing him. I'm saying, come on, let's go. So anyhow, little did I know he was a lot smarter. He jumped the whole crevasse.